You've probably heard the story. NASA spent millions developing a special pen that could write in space, while the Soviets simply used a pencil. It's a great joke. It's a great meme. But it's also completely wrong. And the real story behind the so-called NASA space pen is far more interesting. In the early days of human spaceflight, American astronauts used pencils. So did Soviet cosmonauts. It seemed like a simple, practical solution. But there was a problem no one considered at first. Pencils break. And in zero gravity, tiny fragments of graphite don't fall. They float. Floating conductive dust inside a spacecraft filled with electronics is a serious hazard. Graphite is flammable. Wooden pencil casings are flammable. And loose particles could drift into eyes, equipment, or switches and cause damage or even fire. Both NASA and the Soviets began to realize that pencils were actually dangerous in space. Meanwhile, an inventor named Paul C. Fisher was independently developing a new type of pen. He wasn't hired by NASA. He wasn't funded by NASA. He invested his own money, nearly $1 million, to create a pressurized ink cartridge that could write upside down, underwater, at extreme temperatures, and in zero gravity. When Fisher perfected the design, he approached NASA to test it. The pen worked. It solved every problem pencils caused. And NASA ordered the pens for spaceflight. The cost? $2.39 per pen. Not millions. Not even close. And here's the twist most people don't know. Once the Soviets learned about the Fisher pen, they bought the same pens too. Both sides of the space race ended up using Fisher space pens. So where did the myth come from? Probably from frustration over government spending or from the simple assumption that NASA would spend huge sums solving a basic problem. The story spread because it felt true, not because it was true. In reality, NASA didn't waste millions. A private inventor solved a genuine engineering challenge. And the simple, inexpensive pen became part of space history for both American astronauts and Soviet cosmonauts. The myth is entertaining, but the truth is far more practical, and far more human. Innovation doesn't always come from big institutions. Sometimes it comes from one person solving a problem everyone else overlooked.